Morning all. Hope you guys are able to hear me. Let's start our session at 8:05 a.m. There's still time to join other students that will not join yet. So we can continue the session from 8:05 a.m. Okay. Yeah, fine. So I think we have given enough time to join the students. Let's continue our session. So hope you guys are able to hear me and able to see the screen which I'm sharing, right? Any one of you please confirm. Shilpi, Prasanna, Sheikh, any one of you, Tarun Teja, are you able to see the screen and able to hear me?
Yes.
I'm not able to hear you guys. Hope you guys are able to see the screen, right?
Yes. Yes.
Great. So, what are the topics we discussed in the yesterday's class? So far, we are done with the 4 classes. The first 2 classes is all about the demo, where we discuss the syllabus and doubts on the testing course. And third session, we discussed about one model, which is named as a waterfall model. In fourth session, we discussed about another model, which is from the iterative, which is named as a spiral model. And today again, we are going to see the one more model, which is comes under the sequential model. Okay, so that is called it as a V and V model. But before going to the V and V model, hope everyone is clear with the 4 classes. If you have any doubt, you can ask me now itself. So we are done with 4 classes. First two is all about the syllabus and everything which you have doubts on it. And next we discuss waterfall model and then we discuss the spiral model. So in actual classes, we discussed the 2 models so far and we discussed the roles and responsibilities of the manual tester also in the yesterday session. So in those concepts, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. If no doubts, we can proceed with the new topic. You should be clear about the topics which we discussed in previous classes. Is any new student joined today? Seems like the Tarun Teja, you are a new one, or you are attending from past classes.
No, sir. This is my first class here.
You just introduce yourself to the batch, that your name, where you are from, which year pass out you are.
Okay. So yeah, myself, Tarun Teja, and currently I did my master's in ITM in US, and I did my bachelor's in computer science, and I live in McLean, Texas. And yeah, that's it about myself.
Which year pass out you are?
Yeah, I passed in 2020.
Okay. Masters
Yes.
20.
No, master's 2024.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So looking for
Yes.
the opportunities in the testing.
Yes, sir. Actually, I'm working on like support on automation. So I just want to, gain knowledge more on these topics. So that's why I joined the class.
Okay, great. You are taking the support or you are giving the support to the automation?
No. Actually, I'm working for my brother. So
Oh, great.
yeah,
Fine.
I don't have knowledge on testing.
Okay, great.
I have knowledge on some other tools, but
Okay,
not
fine.
on this.
So first 2 to 3 weeks of sessions will be there on the manual testing only. Once it's done, you can see the automation classes. Okay, so manual classes is also very important, as you said that you are not aware about the concepts in the testing industry. So manual testing
Yes.
concepts will also help you a lot to understand the concepts of the QA quality assurance. So it's
Okay,
not you can design the classes of the manual testing. Fine.
sure.
So I think you missed the 2 classes. It's not an issue. You will get a recordings from the institute. You can reach out to
Yes.
Sarita ma'am. She will help out you to
Okay.
the recordings. If you already in
Okay.
WhatsApp group, then that drive link is there in that WhatsApp group itself. If you are not in,
Okay.
you can,
No, I'm not in.
yeah,
So I will ask them to join.
sure. Fine.
Yeah.
So let's get into the session. Reminding people, you don't have any doubts on the previous models, right? Waterfall model and the spiral model. Shilpi, Prasanna, Sheikh, Tirupataya.
No, sir.
So then what is meant by spiral model? If no doubts, you should be tell that what exactly spiral model is, what exactly waterfall model is. What's the difference between waterfall model and spiral model? If no doubts means you are clear about those concepts, right? If you are clear means you should answer the question. What is the difference between waterfall model and spiral model? It's not an issue even you said the wrong answers, but try to give an answers when I'm asking the questions. It will be habituated to you at the time of interviews also. If you are habituated to give the answers when trainer asks the questions, then you are habituated to give the answers at the time of interview or ask in interview. Okay. So what's the difference between spiral model and waterfall model?
Yes, sir. Waterfall model is nothing but going step by step onto the down. We did not step up if we want any other.
Okay.
After completion of one step, then only we have to move another step.
Okay.
But in spiral model, it is very
Okay.
టెస్టింగ్ పరంగా అది బాగా కాంప్లెక్సిటీ అంటే మోర్ ఎక్కువ టెస్టింగ్ కి అంటే ఇంకా బగ్స్ ఉండడానికి ఛాన్స్ లేకుండా చేసేటటువంటి టెస్టింగ్ కి ఉపయోగపడింది సార్.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Nice try. So any other one? Good one. Good one.
Waterfall model is a traditional method.
Okay. Waterfall model is a traditional model. I think you are speaking on mute sheet. Okay, fine. So let me explain you that I already explained you guys clearly. So what it's happen is I will share the manual testing material by today EOD. Let's see the students are getting joined too, right? So let me confirm with institute and we'll share that material by today EOD or tomorrow morning after completion of the class. So maybe link get changed, right? So in that, whenever the class is completed, just go through the material once the topics which I explained in the class. So which helps you a lot to recall the things which can remember you at the time of interviews. Okay. So nothing to read on it. Okay. Actually, so if you have gone through the running roads also, if you are writing, I already told you yesterday, please try to write the running roads while I'm explaining the concepts. So if you even if you've gone through the running roads also, you can understand very clearly that what exactly the waterfall model is, what exactly the spiral model is. We already discussed that waterfall model is a traditional model and it's a sequential model. There are some disadvantages in the waterfall model. If you want to go to the next step, you should be clear and you should be complete with the current step. Once you are moved to the further steps, it's not possible to come back to the previous steps as like a waterfall. How the water falls from downwards, right? So, and it is only useful for the small project because if any features are changed in middle, we need to start from scratch, right? All this about the waterfall model. Spiral model means, yeah, the more testing is required, more resource is required, but we can use this spiral model for the complex projects where we can analyze the risk. Okay, this spiral model will help you to get for the risk analysis of the project, which is used for the complex project. Simply, you can tell one line. Spiral model is a iterative model which is used for the risk analysis of the project, which will be used for the complex projects. You can define in a single line if you listen the class properly. In waterfall model also, it's a traditional model. It will be used for the short project and we should be clear with the requirements. Why? Because once we move to the next step, it's not possible to come back to the previous steps in the SDLC base. This is called waterfall model. Okay. So just write it the running notes, guys. And today we are going to discuss one more model, which is named as a VNV model. We are left over with two models in the SDLC models. The one is VNV model and next one is Agile model. tomorrow class is very, very important. So most of you guys who are willing to come to the testing industry in the current market, the most of the companies, 99.99% companies are using the agile methodology in the current market. So it's very important the terminology which we are using while explaining the agile methodology, like sprint, tickets, story, in the Jira, how can we create, and Scrum calls, what is meant by Scrum meeting, what is meant by retro meeting, okay? Scrum agenda, user stories, backlogs, bugs, epics, everything. The terminology is very, very important, which we are going to discuss in the tomorrow class. Okay. So please try to attend for the tomorrow class without fail, which helps you a lot, which you can change your knowledge on the manual testing in the agile methodology. Okay. So today part, we are going to discuss about the V and V model. V and V model is nothing but yesterday we discussed in one point, I think so. While explaining the advantages and disadvantages of the waterfall model, we have discussed about the verification and validation, right? So what exactly the difference between the verification and validation? Verification and validation model, right? So what exactly the verification and validation means? Forgot that one also. Great. Okay, fine. So verification and validation is nothing but verification means we are going to verify the documentation that, for example, whenever we collect the requirements from the customer, so we are going to verify the document that it's perfect or not, that we can do it or not, that we can feasible to do it or not, then the application is developed as per the requirement or not, that is called as a verification. Validation means after developing an application, is that is working as expected or not, by giving the inputs, by giving the test data, then we are going to validate. That is called as a validation. This is the difference between the verification and validation. Why this model came up to the picture is, here waterfall is also sequential model, V and V model is also sequential model, right? So whenever usually we have the waterfall model, why the V model is came up to the picture again means, which helps to overcome the disadvantages of the waterfall model. What are the disadvantages? It will be used for the small project, and once we are moved to the next phase where it's not possible to come back to the previous step. These are the major disadvantages in the waterfall model, right? It was overcome in the V model. So if you observe that in the V and V model, developers and testers work together simultaneously. So in the waterfall model, what exactly happen is, we already discussed that we have few phases, right, in the SDLC. What are they? Yeah, these are the phases we have, right? Requirement gathering, feasibility study, designing, development, testing, deployment, and maintenance. If you use the waterfall model, what exactly happen is, what is the tester role and responsibility? It's the fifth phase, right? So whenever the project is started, here requirement gathering. For example, today is the April 30. The requirement gathering is started on April 30. The time which comes for the testing may be May 30 or June 30, based on the project complexity. Maybe 1 month or 2 months it takes. Development, sometimes it's take 3 months, right? So let's assume that it's take the 3 months. How much time it's required? July 30. So up to July 30, the tester will be the free. The tester won't do anything, right? Simply sitting idle. If there is any scope, then he may write some test cases. That's it. Other than that, no work will be there for the tester if you use the waterfall model. Is it or not? It's a waste of the resource, waste of the money for the company. Is it or not? Simply the companies, without giving any work to you, sitting simply idle in the company. If the company gives you the salary, what is the use of the candidate to the company? No use, right? So to overcome these issues, to make the flexibility of the employees, so we are going to use the V&V model. So what exactly the V&V model is happen? The requirement gathering is collected by the business analyst only. But whenever it was sent, we have a CRS document in the requirement gathering, right? So once the CRS document is there, that CRS document is shared by the BA to developer and tester both. Okay, the developer and tester. For both that CRS document is get shared to the people. What is CRS document? CRS means customer requirement specification document, which is given by the customer. If you observe, let's write here, this is a developer. This is a tester. Okay, here if you see the diagram, what is there here? CRS document is there. CRS document is given to the developer and tester, right? Here, left side part will be the developer, right side part will be the tester. CRS document is given to the developer and tester. If you see here, that CRS document is given to the developer and tester by business analyst. Okay, business analyst or PO, they are the persons who collecting the customer requirement specification document from the business analyst. Okay, remember that one. Next, whenever the developer gets that CRS document, in the next phase, that CRS documents gets converted into the SRS document with the help of the developer. What the developer will do? The developer will convert that CRS document into the SRS document. CRS means customer requirement specification document, which will be in the terminology of the customer language, business language. Whenever we converted that into the SRS document, the document will be in the software terminology, which is known by the software people, that we can use the terminology of the software keywords. Like for example, if there is a login page that in the CRS document, yeah, I need a login page on top of the page. They will give that business requirement like that. But when we convert into the SRS, we can write clearly that yes, we need to use the React framework to develop that login page on the top left nav bar. Okay, we can use the software terminology like that. That CRS is gets converted into the SRS with the help of the developer. While while the developer is converting that CRS into the SRS, what the tester will do? Tester will verify that requirements given by the customer is proper or not. If you observe that in the first phase, the CRS is going to be converted into the SRS with the help of the developer. At that moment, what tester will do? Tester will review the CRS. What will review by the test by CRS? Is there any conflicts in the requirements? Is there any missing requirements given by the customer in CRS document? Is there any wrong requirements? And everything is going to be reviewed by the tester. So if you observe that in waterfall model, up to 3 months, no use of having the tester in the team. But if you use the V1V model, from starting itself, the tester has to work with the developer to get the inputs and to verify the documentation part as well. Right? Review CRS document. So once this SRS document is done, that SRS document will send to the tester. Once SRS is sent, what the tester will do? He is going to review the SRS. What will be reviewed in the SRS? And they are going to verify, testers are going to verify SRS document against CRS document. SRS document against CRS document means is the developers are converted all the requirements into the SRS or not, or else any requirement missed while converting into the SRS document is going to be verified. Okay, clear so far how the developer and tester are concluded here? Clear or not? Same will be there in the diagram format here. If you observe that whenever the CRS is shared to the developer and tester, the tester is going to do the testing on that and reviewing the CRS. The developer is converting into the SRS. Once the developer converted SRS, that SRS sent to the tester to test it, and developers are going to start doing the designing. We have two types of designs we discussed in the SDLC models, HLD and LLD, right? So high level design is designed first. Once high level design is designed, that high level design will be sent to the tester again. Okay, now the high level design is going to be verified by the tester. Meanwhile, the developer converting HLD into the LLD. Okay, after that LLE is sent to the tester, meanwhile the developer is going to convert that LLE into the coding. And after the completion of the coding, the testing part will comes. So if you use the waterfall model from here to here, the tester should be the ideal. But if you use the VNV model, that tester is also verifying the documentation part, which can helps to get the proper results. Getting my point? Why V model is getting used? If you use here, so same thing will be there. In the next phase, that SRS sent to the testing team for review, developers start building the HLD. What the testers will do, review the SRS against the CRS, write the system test plan, test case. System test plan means, so what we are going to test in the coming days, what we are going to test for this project, how many test cases we have, how can we plan, so how many cases there will be chance of getting by writing. So for example, if that project has the 200 features, for each feature hardly if you take the 50 test cases, 15 to 200, 10,000 test cases will be there. So we have the team of only 10 members. It's very difficult to execute the 10,000 test cases with the help of the 10 members. Okay, we need to hire. So as like that, we need to plan, and we need, if you need any resource, your manager or lead talk with the HR. Yes, 2 to 3 members requirement is there for my team. So please release the notification in public, and we need that person immediately as we are going to start work immediately. So that's the reason most of the HRs are looking for the immediate joiners. Okay. We may misunderstand the HRs that why they are looking for immediate joining. It's not the reason that why the HRs are taking for the immediate joiners. We are thinking that if we are not immediate joiners, then there will be chance of changing to the other company after getting the joining letter. The HRs may think like that. So it's not like that. In the companies, the requirements are different. The managers are telling that, yeah, I need this person immediately into my team because without research we cannot proceed. Suddenly the projects may be rise. Suddenly the project may be increase, right? So as per the customer requirements, so at that moment they are going to take, even though there will be a slight corner difference that how they are thinking about that the person may join for other company after getting the joining letter. But behind that, this is the true story in the software companies. Okay, the majority of the HRs are thinking like that. The manager is required that person immediately to join. That is the first reason, and next the other reasons we have what you are thinking. Okay, so this is all about the VNV model. Hope you are clear. So I explained here very clearly that so HLD, whenever we are going to the next step, the previous step sent to the tester to test. Whenever we are going to the next step, this LLD is going to send to the tester to work on it. Just see this diagram. Hope you are able to see the diagram. Is it clear? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, once see the diagram step by step. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. In which industry we are using this? Means I didn't get your points, LP. Which industry means? Which domain you are talking, or which project you are talking? Industry means it's a software industry only.
No, I'm just talking about the which domain we are using this because I don't see this like in past 10 or
Which domain means I already told you in the current projects, we are most of the companies, 99.9% companies are using agile methodology only, right?
right. Yeah.
So V and V model is a traditional model as like a waterfall model which used before. Okay, so we can use it for the mid-level, like it's not for short projects, not for complex project, mid-level projects you can use. If you see the advantages, you will get the things here clearly. Here you can see.
Is there any domain which you can just name it, like any domain
Domain means,
they
for
have
example,
used
if
it?
you see the IRCTC application, okay. So for that IRCTC application, we can use the waterfall model, we can use the V&V model, we can use the SL model, we can use the uh, prototype model, spiral model, we can use any model. Okay, but the how
So,
this model is defined and selected is it's all based on the architects that they are thinking about the resource feasibility, financial feasibility, and everything. For example, I will give an example to you. I have a one software company where I have the resource of only 20 employees in my company, which includes developer, testers, and everyone. And you are the owner for the one more software company. You are having the strength of 2000 employees. Okay, we both got same project which is related to the government project like IRCTC. Okay, so you have the more strength, then you can use V&V model, spiral model, because the resource is more required from the starting, right?
mhm.
Getting my point?
Yeah.
For me, I have only 20 employees. So it's very difficult to maintain that V&V model or spiral model and SL model. It's very difficult. Within 20 employees, it's difficult to maintain the project. So what I can do, I can use the waterfall model like that. The testers are not required until the 3 months or 4 months, right? So I will make the developers to work on it, and after 3 months, I will train the developers to test that application, and I will make them to do the both development and testing work also. Because my company
Yeah.
is small, I will give good salary to the 20 employees by doing the both works with the same persons. The testing role is not
Right.
required up to 3 months, right? So up to 3 months only development and design part will be there in the waterfall model. So it's based on the company strengths, based on the requirements, based on the architect's decision. Okay, it's not on the QA people. Getting my point?
Yes.
Here you have to imagine and you have to check that uh, here the model selection will not be based on a single team which is named as QA team. Here that's why I told that software development life cycle, not software testing life cycle. We have one more life cycle, 2 to 3 more life cycles in the further classes which we discussed. One of them is software testing life cycle. That is dedicated to the testing team. The testing team can plan that the software testing life cycle. Okay,
Yeah.
getting my point? Not getting, Shilpi?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, if you see the advantages and disadvantages also, you can get to know here. So if you see the testing starts from early stages because the both are working simultaneously. Testing is involved in every stage of the product development, even though the documentation part, deliverables are parallel and the total investment is less. Why total investment is less means initial investment is more. Right? That's the reason total investment is less because the project will be completed early, right? So 1 year project will be completed in the 3 months. Even though initial investment is more, the total investment will be less. And drawbacks means initial investment is more documentation work is required, and applications of VAV, where we are using the V&V model, it's for long-term project like IRCTC. I'm telling that waterfall model will also use it for the IRCTC. SL model is also used for the IRCTC. But we need to check how the outcomes will come if we use that model. Okay, there is a team where they are going to check the feasibility. I already told you the feasibility, right? So while checking the feasibility itself, they will check it. What if we use the waterfall model? What if we use the agile model? What if we use the V&V model? How the outcomes will be? Do we deliver the project in on time to the customer in the stipulated time? They are going to check, verify everything. Okay. See these points. A little bit zoom out. Yeah. You can see all those. These are the advantages. These are the disadvantages. these are the applications. See these 3 points, which will help you to get to know more.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Any doubt?
No.
Yeah, I just told why I'm not getting anything. So because I'm not telling anything, should be I just told you to go through these points on the screen, which is
Okay.
advantages, disadvantages, and applications for 4 minutes. And after that, if you have any doubts, we can discuss on it. Okay.
సార్
Yeah.
టెస్ట్ కేసెస్ అంటే ఏం రాసుకోవాలి సార్?
Test cases, we have a dedicated session in the further classes, but still I will explain you today. So test case is nothing but the possibilities of the verification of the feature. For example, you have a login page. Okay, not only login page, whatever you are going to consider it into the thing. So if you take a login page, we have the username and password, right? So in what possibilities you are going to verify the login page? So for example, let me open one login page. Let's take this application and let's consider this is the login page, right? So in this login page, what might be the possibilities to verify? What we can verify in this page as a tester? Okay. So tester means nothing to learn to verify the page. Okay. For example, let's assume that this is an exam written by your friend. You are the person who validating. So you guys can verify very easily. Okay. You need to think of that this is your enemy. Okay, we can find the negatives in other persons very easily, right? So as a human, I'm not um, criticizing anyone here. So I'm just giving the general and universal truth. Even me also, as a human, we can identify the negatives in others very easily, right? In similar way, let's assume this is the other person. So you can identify, you can try to verify that what are the negatives in this one. So what might be not be work. Okay, That's how that AA won't replace the manual testing. Because AA don't know the emotions, right? So AA don't know the thinking power. AA is nothing but the trained the data which we set it as the preset data, right? So it won't be take the decision as per the requirement. So that AI won't have the thinking capabilities. It was trained by the data which we existing previously. Okay, it can replace the automation testing, but it can't replace the manual testing. That's how that importance of manual testing is there in future also. Okay, let's assume this is the login page. What all the cases we can verify? What all possibilities we can verify in this page? Can anyone?
Giving username and different type of passwords. Password in the sense password only.
Yes, good one.
And without using the username and password, trying to log in.
Great one. Anything else?
Only typing the username and login without typing password.
Okay, great.
And vice versa with the password and username.
Okay. Any other possibilities? That only test case. You told few cases now, right? Those are the test cases. Verifying that login page by giving the valid username and valid password. Verifying the login page by providing valid username, invalid password, invalid username, valid password, invalid username, invalid password, and clicking the login page without entering the data, giving the blank spaces and giving some random data, giving some blank spaces like this, and verifying the title in the login page. Verify the color of the login button. Okay, these all are the cases what we have. That's all call it as a test cases. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Anything else? Any doubts?
For that, each one we have to written down and then we can test our test
Yeah.
case.
We have to write a documentation for the test cases. Okay. Anyway, while explaining the project, I will explain you the documentation part on how can you write the test cases in an Excel sheet and test trail too. So test trail is the one of the tool which we can maintain our test cases, which we can create the packs for the regression, smoke, and other testings which we are going to use in the types of testings which are going to perform at the time of project working. While the features are increasing, we are going to do the regression testing, smoke testing, and sanity testings are very, very important. In the interviews also, they will ask that what exactly the regression testing means, what exactly smoke testing means, what exactly sanity testing means. We are going to discuss all these types of testings in the further classes, okay, which make you to people clear. I will shout out while explaining those concepts so that you can write it in your running notes as an important questions in interviews for the manual testing, even though you are fresher or experienced candidates. Okay, so it will help you a lot. Any more doubts? Any more doubts, guys? Please confirm.
No, sir.
Okay. If no doubts, then it's fine. So what we can do is tomorrow we are going to discuss First purpose. And here, tomorrow we can discuss Agile methodology, or we can call it as Agile model. And we can discuss Scrum terminology. Scrum terminology means we have who is Scrum Master, what is Sprint. We can call it as Agile terminology also. Sprint, tickets, we have epic, user stories. Anyway, we have these things in the Jira while explaining the Jira, but I will make it you clear before only. Stories, user stories, epics, bug, task, subtask. Yeah, and we have retro meet. Very important one is PA meeting. I'm not sure how many of you are aware about the PA meetings. We can discuss in the tomorrow class. Okay. Yeah, these are the topics we can discuss. Tomorrow class is very, very important if you're really switching into the manual testing in the current market. Agile model is a game changer in the market now. So most of the companies are using the Agile methodology. These keywords helps you a lot to get the things very clear. Okay, these are the topics which we are going to discuss in the tomorrow class. So I'm not sure how many of you are joined in the group. I can see that most of the people who joined in the class has in the group. If not, please try to communicate with Sarita ma'am. She will help out you to join into the groups. Okay. So maybe by today EOD or tomorrow morning, I'm going to share the documents which helps to you. Any doubts? I can see that only 6 people are there. Okay. So let me call out the names. Tirupataya, do you have any doubt?
No, sir.
Prasanna, not able to hear you, Prasanna. Prasanna, Sheikh, Shamik Laha,
No, sir.
Tarun Teja. Okay, great. Is anyone is there here who is having the real-time experience as a manual tester and for 2 to 3 years?
No, sir.
No one?
Yes, sir, I have experience.
2 to 3 years. How many years of experience you have?
6 years.
Sorry,
6 years.
not 6 years. I'm asking 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, 2 to 3 years I have.
You said 6 years of experience, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking 2 to 3 years, not 6 years. It should be
Okay,
the less than 3 and greater than 2, in between 2 to 3.
okay.
Any
Sir,
other?
I have a 3 years experience with support, not testing, support and development.
Okay. Okay, I want real-time experience person. So this have
With in testing, sir.
yeah. Okay, fine. So if no one is there, then it's fine. If anyone is there, what about Tarun Tej? Okay, he's just completed master, right? Sheikh, Prasanna, which year pass out you are?
I'm 2014 passed out, sir.
Okay, fine. So actually there is opening in one company which is having for 2 to 3 years of manual testers. They will check the real-time experience, the background verification will be there. That's the reason I'm asking. Okay. So the background verification is very strict. So you should be have the genuine experience. Okay, this is the topmost MNC company. So If you are switching, you can switch from support to manual testing, but first need to be work with the these things like startups and small companies. If you are directly planning to switch to the support to manual for the top MNCs companies, the background verification, if you find out, then it will be problem to you. That's the reason I'm not considering. So if there is any opportunities in the startups, we'll let you know in the classes. Okay. So have a nice day. Any doubt? May I close the session for the day? Did anyone want to ask any question? Any doubts regarding the career, course, whatever it is? If not, I can close the session for the day. We are done for the today. Okay, great. As no one is speaking, I can consider that no doubts. So I can close the session for the day. Have a nice day. Thank you all. We'll meet you all tomorrow at the same time. Bye bye.